Good afternoon, traders, and today what we're going to do is review a trade on CAT. I know a bunch of traders were not able to get into the trade, and we're going to go over the reason why and talk about entries. So this was something I posted at 9:12 this morning on Twitter. It was also in our weekly action plan. Everyone that gets that mailed to them, it was in our weekly action plan. It was high on my radar this morning. The key level was 110.72. We were looking for failure at that level. We were going to take the 108 puts, and if it broke through, the 112 calls. Okay, so let's take a look at what happened today. So if we look at Caterpillar, opened up, and the first 10 minutes, it's very hard to get into an options trade because they're just not settled. The spreads are wide, and there's no real liquidity. So you get beat on both sides. So it opened up, and it immediately got down to our first ATR and came all the way down to 107.55. So there was no trade there. Anything in there was just chasing it. But there was another trade, if we were watching the stock, that was made available to us. So I do like Caterpillar short because on the daily, it's about to fire short, which I'll show you later in this video. But about entries, it started scaling back up and it tested the 21 EMA. So we did not enter here. I did not enter here. I entered on this candle. When it opened up on the 21 EMA, touching it, and it failed it and started heading down again. What was my second signal? So the first signal, everything reverts back to the mean. The 21 EMA is the mean. So you'd always want the 21 EMA on all your charts. I always look at it. So it failed the first time, opened up, failed the second time. That's when I entered. Why else did I enter? Because the black line, which is the 5 EMA, crossed over the 8 EMA, which is the yellow line. So we had failure. That checkbox number 1 for entry. Checkbox number 2 is the crossover. EMA crossover, 5 over 8. And I picked it up here. And I ended up picking up the 106s, I think. Not I think, I know I picked up the 106s. And I held the trade overnight. Now you could have got out here, and I think it was like up 50%, even more. I think closer to 70%. But I held it overnight for one reason. Failing at the 21, failing at the 21. Yes, the very last half hour, it touched one more ATR up, which is the 34. But then we closed below the 21. So I was fine holding it overnight. We have descending momentum, and we have a new squeeze setting forming. So we have the momentum dying, and we have a new squeeze forming. An orange dot is the highest squeeze with descending momentum. So why did I hold this one overnight? Because on the daily, look what we have here. Okay, just looking from a bigger picture. Number one I post, we have a double bottom. So we have to get past that 106.67. Once we get past that, I think we have free range right to 105.44. And if we can crack that weekly level, we'll be 2 ATR down at 103.14. So that's my target for this trade. The reason I held it overnight was because we're in a squeeze that went from a positive momentum to now descending, which means short, and the momentum's getting stronger on the short side. So I think tomorrow we have a chance to break this 106.67 and at least test the 105.44, which still should put those up about 100%, and possibly break that, depending on what the market does, and get to that 103.14 level, which would be 2 ATR down. For those of you that don't know what ATRs are, that's average true range, and I'll show it to you on a different chart. So it's the same thing. This is the daily. This is the mean, and I know I have a lot of other lines on here, but this white one's the mean, which is still the 21. This is 1 ATR down, where we currently are, and it actually moves, so we have to move that. It does move as the stock moves. So look at that. We actually closed right on 1 ATR down, which is actually a good signal. Still got to get past that double bottom. And now our 2 ATR down is at 102.56. So we do have the range. We still have 2 days left in the week, and we still have a daily squeeze that can fire. And it's at 107.67, and the implied move for the week is $3.36. So that gets us to roughly 104, 104 and change. So somewhere in this range is where I think we'll end up. Obviously, it'll depend on market movement. And that's it. So the main part of this video that I wanted you all to catch on was how when I write something up to take a trade, how you can also sometimes maneuver around it, which is using the 21 and the crossover, because we weren't going back up here. If we did, it would have been beautiful. Let it just keep going, get a double failure at resistance or triple failure at resistance, and then take it down. But we had the 21, and that's all we could get out of it to take the position. Or if you weren't comfortable, just stay away from the position. But I kind of like a 21 failure with a crossover on the EMA side. All right, thank you. Have a good night, and I will have some trades for us for tomorrow.